speaking on when you hear the word saying that?
You cry a lot. Yeah. You spend a lot of time in prayer. I think, I guess to the younger group, I would say, when I was growing up, it was, war was movies, Hollywood. It was romantic. Going to go be the hero and come back home and, be the hero. Then I went to Vietnam and I found out it wasn't romantic. It was work. It was painful. And I liken it to the call. The truth is, over the years of starting churches, and each time, the call was similar but not always the same. And it came in some ways by different methods, but it was come to the realization it was a battlefield. We were going to go fight and take territory and win souls. So when the call came to go to D.C., I guess it was familiar. It was a familiar feeling. It was a familiar awareness because I had been there before. But to be honest with you, I really didn't think it was for me at that point. There were several things happening. It was over. I think some people think you just get this call and you just pack up and go. And I mean, it didn't. Maybe there were times, but it didn't work that way for me this time. I tried to bargain with God. We could work out a deal. I would go, first we got a Bible study. That's how really the call literally came. Phone call, somebody wanted a Bible study. And so we would travel 2 hours, teach a Bible study, and then drive back home once a week. And in the meantime, I was the home missions director, and we tried to get people to come. I would take them. There's a part of where many of you have been to Washington, D.C., but I don't know if you've been to where the people live.
Hallelujah. There is a difference.
There is a difference. Inner city, and you read the stories. I don't have to tell you. But I would just masses, 172 neighborhoods inside the Beltway. And when we went 6 years ago, there wasn't, to our knowledge, there wasn't one group meeting inside the Beltway. And I'm glad to tell you today that we have 12. We have 4 daughter works. We have 13 preaching points. We have 12 works going inside the Beltway now. But the call, receiving the call, I just, first of all, it was just a few notes I made here. The starting of churches, I'm talking to the choir, I guess, but it costs you everything. Somebody once said it's a call to go there and die. And I think that's truth. Except an acorn fall to the ground and die, it abideth alone. From what I understand, he puts his life in us. That's the seed. He puts the life in us. And then we go to a city, a community, and we die. We die to what we want to do. We die to what we want to be. We die to our preferences in order that somebody else can live. And I wasn't so young when this, not that I'm old, but I wasn't so young when the call came this time. And we knew what it was. We lived before in Sunday school classrooms, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, we knew what it was to be pinch a penny. Well, no, you can't even do that today, but we knew all that, but we had to weigh it out. I say we had to weigh it out. I had to pray. And so we did this Bible study thing, and probably for a year, we would go teach a Bible study and then go back home, and I would have preachers come and take them downtown, show them these neighborhoods, and some of them I stood on street corners and cried with them, but it just wasn't for them, I guess. But God began to give me the burden. So I tried to work out another deal, and that deal was we would rent a facility, and after church on Sunday morning, we would drive 2 hours, and have church in Northwest D.C., and then drive back home for Sunday night church. And my family thought I was trying to kill them. But we finally, that call was insistent. I don't know how to explain that, but it was insistent. It was a pressure. 2 hours away is 172 neighborhoods with no one reaching them. And the pressure of that inside, and it wasn't always that thought. It wasn't a constant thought. It was inside a pressure. When I'd go to pray, it'd be there. I'd find myself miserable and unhappy and angry. And I probably shouldn't have said that, but I didn't want to go. We had, at that time, I don't know, I think we had 12 grandchildren, 4 children. And it was at the same time, our youngest son took his family, and to us, far more than what God has done in our lives. I went for 2 weeks to the Republic of Georgia to see our son in August. I cried for 2 weeks. I can hardly talk about it now as I watch. As I watch them give their lives to the cause of a nation. A call that would drive you push you from, you're comfortable. I like to be comfortable, but that call was saying, give up the comfort. And so when I see what's happened with my son, I mean, it's incredible. I just got to tell you, they started an international church last April with zero. And I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they had 210 in church. So I said, all right, here's what we'll do, God. We'll go to D.C. and we'll rent an apartment. And I'll tell you something. Maybe that's just one word I felt when I was praying about this. I cried a lot over the few words are so important, especially spoken like this, because they're powerful. Somebody may make a decision based upon some emotion and not seeking God.
Right. That's
not and we want churches, but we don't want somebody to go out there and die. Right. I was praying about all this, and I felt like God really tried to tell me that He was going to help me choose my words. And our world is waiting on us. Our thinking has been so small. When I was in Lexington Park, and Jason and his family are doing an incredible job, and God's given them miracles. But when I was there, I thought small town. and nothing wrong with small towns. But you think finances so small. Like somebody said, yeah, we pay about $6,000 a month. Actually, I think it's a little more than that now because we're renting other facilities to have churches. Look, we can do this. But one man is not going to do it.
Right.
It's going to take every one of us
Right.
responding not to the call.
To the call.
To the call. And I went, man, if somebody would have told me I was going to pay the kind of money for a house to live in or pay that kind of money for a building to have church in, a place, we have church in the basement of an inner city Baptist church, very old. When we first got there, we had to go in on Sunday morning for anybody got there and kill the rats. And pray that none of them run out while we was having church. We might have that Mississippi thing going on. But
That's tomorrow, Dale.
but you know, whatever it took, right? But our thinking was so small. And I'm telling you, God wants to enlarge our thinking. I mean, on every level. Money, people. Somehow we don't think, this is my impression. It's like we think they don't want what we got.
Right.
And that's a lie right out of hell.
Right.
They're waiting on us. They're waiting on us. I promise you, they're waiting on us.
Yes. That's right. Yes. That's right, Brother Stan. Yes. That's right. Got it? I want us to stand right now because the Spirit of God wants to just speak something into somebody's heart. If you just close your eyes and lift your hands down.